Hey friends, welcome back to QA Scripts. In our previous session, where we learned how to install TestNG to Eclipse as add-on, and also we tried to learn whether it installed properly or not. In this video, we will learn what is more capabilities I can use for the Selenium test. So there are some annotations. Also, there are some ways to do parameterization and also getting report. But in this session, let's try to understand what is annotation all about. Here I have a simple method called test method, and inside that I have a main method. As all you know, in order to execute any line of a code or a method in a class, you need to have main method. Without main method, no code is going to execute. So here I have a method called main method. Let me try to run a simple message called test. So now it works fine and it will display the message. But what if I don't want to use main method? Now the question comes, why you don't want to use main method? As you grow, as you do lot of framework design, you may not need to use main method. You want to use directly the methods which are going to call from one class to another class by using inheritance concept. And there are other reasons also to not to use main method. Now question comes, if you don't have main method, how to execute a method? So definitely the method is not going to call. At that time we can use TestNG and their annotations. Let me write one simple class and a method. Here is a class called test demo, and I have created a method called my first program, having a message saying, hi, I am your first program. So let me execute this and see what happens. So when you execute this as a Java program, okay, so here I'm going to get one error saying that main method not found in the class, hence the method is not going to execute. How to come out of this? There you can use a small keyword called @test. So this keyword is nothing but a annotation. This keyword is coming from TestNG add-on, and if you want to use, you have to type as @test, and it will show some errors at the beginning. It is because this TestNG is sorry, @test annotation is coming from TestNG. That's altogether a jar file we have added to our Eclipse as a add-on. Hence we need to show where is this TestNG is present, means in that add-on or in that jar of TestNG where exactly this is present. What is the package? In order to say where is, we need to import the package. Most of the people, what they will do is they will start writing a keyword like import, then they will start writing the package names. Don't do that, because there are some chances of spelling mistakes, and also it's a more effort. Here the life is easy if we use Eclipse. After writing any class or annotation, it will throw error if that is an external class or annotation. At that time what you can do, you can move your cursor on that error. Don't move or don't click on that cross mark. Instead of that, move your cursor on the red line. Eclipse will suggest some of the fixes in the window as it is showing. Here first line saying import at test from a package called org.testng.annotations. So this is a package you can import. And sometime what happens if your Eclipse has a JUnit, so that import line will also come here, because @test is an annotation present in JUnit as well as TestNG. But right now I'm using TestNG, and I can click on this link called import test org.testng.annotation. So be careful while clicking on the link. As soon as I click on, what happens, a line will added here saying import org.testng.annotations.test, and I don't have any errors here. Now let me execute this program. How to execute? I cannot execute as normal Java program because I have used @test. What is this @test? The annotation @test will tell to JVM that hey, we have to start execution from this point where @test is present. When @test is present on the top of method, that is a instruction to JVM, it has to start from the method. In this case it's a my first program because my first program as annotation called @test. It means that JVM will look at the @test and it will understood that it has to execute the method below @test. Hence it will start executing this particular method. How to execute? Very simple. You need to right click and go as run as, and here you won't find Java application. Instead of that you will get TestNG test, because when you use @test, this is considered as a test. And please remember, you have so many other annotations as well, but you have to run a script or a program from a class which is there, which is having @test, then only it will execute. So either of one way is good. One way is right click and go to run as. Otherwise you can also click on run as here and TestNG test. So as soon as you run the program as a TestNG test, it will show some of the lines here. I'll explain about these lines later, but as of now look at the status. The status is passed. What is passed? The method name here is the first program, my first program, that is passed, and here is the message what I have given is printed. Means it has executed this particular method without help of main. So this is how we can use TestNG annotations. Is that the only one annotation we have TestNG? No, we have some other keywords or TestNG annotation in TestNG add-on. So what is that? What are the different annotations we have? Is here is the snapshot. We have one annotation called @before suit. Like that, we have another annotation saying @after shoot, after before test, after test, before groups. There are so many annotations. You can use whichever is required for your framework. Let's try to understand one by one. So I have already used @test. Now I would like to use annotation called @before test and @after test. So instead of directly jumping into the program and using it, I would like to give a simple example where we can use in real time. Let's see this slide. So here I have some scenarios. So this is signing into the Facebook. After signing into the Facebook, what I would like to do, I would like to update my status as a message saying that new Selenium online session will start next week by QA scripts. So this is the status I would like to update and log out. So this is a one scenario I would like to automate. And also I would like to automate one more scenario where first logging into the application, that is Facebook, then click on share button and sign out. If you observe these two scenarios, we can understand login as well as logout to the application are common for the both of these scenarios, for update status as well as for sharing. Think that you have 100 scenarios of Facebook you would like to automate, like clicking on like button, so and so. For each and every scenario, login and logouts are common. So, and before login, we have to launch the browser and place the URL. right? So these are all highly reusable in order to automate a scenario. You cannot write separate method for logging in which is related to update status scenario, as well as you cannot write logout method for this. If you go on writing separate methods like login, logout for scenario, then you need to write 200 methods for the 100 scenarios. Suppose you have 100 scenarios, you have to write 200 methods where you will say login, logout, login and logout. No, I don't want to do like that. Instead of that, I will write one method called login, another method called logout, and I will also make sure that login method has to be performed or executed before update status method execute. And after executing update method, logout has to be executed. So if you want to make this ordering, what you can do, you can write three methods for this scenario: login, then update status, another method is logout, and also I'll write one more method called share. So now I will use annotation to call a method called login and another method called after test. So here I will use before test, here I will use after test, and for the update status method I will use test, so that it will execute sequentially. I think if you get this concept, it will be very easy. Otherwise, let us look at code, then it will be easy to understand. Here is the test what I have automated as I explained. First, I would like to log into Facebook. Hence, I have created a method called login, and here I have placed a message saying that log into Facebook. Then I want to update status. Hence, I have created one more method called update status, and here I am saying a message called new Selenium online session will start next week by QA script. Then as usual log out. So what I will do, this is a script or this is a test. I will use an annotation called @test, because this is the testing I would like to do, whether status can be updated into the update status tab or not. So that I would like to test it. For that I have written a method and think that there are a lot of other Selenium lines. As of now I have just written system.out.println only. So in order to execute, I will do, I will use a thread test annotation and I will import. But before update status, what has to be happen? Login to the Facebook has to be happen. Hence, I will use for this method another annotation called before test. So this is another annotation. Again, it will ask you to import from particular package. Say import before test org.testng.annotations. As you go on importing, automatically the import statements will be getting added at the top of the class. Now, after update status message placed into the Facebook, this is a time to log out. So here I will say after test. So this is again another annotation, and use the import feature, and it will get imported like this. Now the test to update status is ready. How actually it's going to work is, as soon as you start execution, the JVM will come and it will look at the test annotation. But test annotation will tell, hey, there is another annotation called before test. It means before me there is one more annotation called before test. You have to execute that method which is having before test, then you have to come back. So this communication will happen from the backend. Hence JVM will go back to the before test method, that is login, and it will execute first, then it will come back to the test method, that is update status. After getting executed test method, then JVM will look at the after test, because as it says, the annotation will execute after test. The method which is having after test annotation will get executed after test method, at the rate test method. Hence, the logout method will get performed. So the complete end-to-end flow will get executed. Let's see whether the test will execute what as I explained. So in order to execute, what I can do, I can go to run as and run as a TestNG test. So here it says test run is 1 because only one test is there, and fail was 0 because the test is not failed, as well as no tests or no methods have been skipped, hence it's a 0. Here I'm getting a message called login to Facebook. This is a method, it will get executed first, and then it will execute another message, another method, and will display the message called new Selenium online session will start next week by UX script. Then it will get executed logout method, and the message will be printed out. You might be thinking, since we have written in the order, hence we are getting the messages in order. No, let me change the order. It's not going to depend. The order is not dependent, or the execution is not going to happen based upon the order, but it will going to happen based upon the annotations. So here I have changed the order. I have placed login method after update status. But if we execute this program, what will happen? It will happen first login method will get executed, then it will execute the update status, and it will execute the last logout method. In real time, how we are going to use these methods as well as annotations are, since login as well as logout are common or highly reusable methods for all the scenarios, we will create one class called base test. Okay, so here I'll take out these two methods, and I will create a method called base test. It's not compulsory that you have to say base test itself, but it's easy to understand. This test will going to serve as a library for all the scenarios. So inside the base test, I will place the login as well as logout method with annotations, and I will come back to the test, that is update status, and here I will use inheritance concept. Means I will extend TestNG demo class to base test, so that now base test will be act as a parent class, and TestNG demo class will act as a child class, because there is a relation established between TestNG demo as well as base test. Now you don't need to worry about you need to call or not call, since you have used at the rate before as well as at the rate after test here in the base test, and you have established the relation between these two classes. It's easy to say that you can use at the rate test, and don't worry about the at the rate before and after test, because they will start execute as soon as a JVM will come at the rate test annotation. This will again tell to JVM saying that, hey, there is a at the rate before test method in the parent class. First you need to execute there and come back here. So there is no direct call physically here, or there is no direct code to call those two methods, but it will the TestNG will make sure that first those methods which are having at the rate before test will get executed, then it will come back. So let's execute again. Here I'll say run as and TestNG test. So it works fine as I have used. Now if I want to go for automating another scenario as I explained, so let me say this is another scenario where I need to log in, and I need to click on share button and log out. So in this case, what I'll do, I'll write not three methods but only one method called share. Then I will say at the rate test for that method, and I will execute. So it's understood that login and logout will happen before share method gets executed. I have created method called share post, and I have placed a message called share your post. Now let me execute this class as a TestNG test, and let's see. Here it's saying run methods or run tests are two because there are two at the rate test, means it's considering these are two different tests. And if you look at the messages, first login to Facebook, then it says share your post, okay, then it says uh, new Selenium online session will start by next week, and the last message what it is displaying is log out from Facebook. Now you might be wondering, I have a method called update status first, but if you look at the message, it's showing that the message share post has got executed first. Yes, it'll execute first because if you look at the name of the method is share post, according to alphabet it will going to execute if you use at the rate test for both of them, because these are all tests, so based upon the alphabet it will get executed. But if you want to execute update status first, then share post next, you need to prioritize. Yes, there are some keywords where it will make your script to execute in a desired flow. Let me use a keyword called priority, and let me assign priority to these two methods. How to prioritize? Here you need to open the bracket and say priority 1, and the same time here you can say priority, and let's say this method has to execute first, that is update status has to execute first. I'll say priority equals to 0 and priority equals to 1, so it will start from 0. Now here it's showing some error, and if I move my cursor on that error, it has to say import priority, but it's giving error. I think sometime you will get this kind of error because the TestNG what I have added as a add-on to this Eclipse is not compatible, in the sense the version of TestNG what I've added to the Eclipse is not compatible. That's why it is giving. Please remember, you will get the message like the attribute priority is not is undefined for the annotation type test. So this message you will get it only if there is a if there is a issue of compatibility between TestNG and your Eclipse. Now how to resolve? Very simple. You need to change the version of TestNG. Let us first look at what is the TestNG version here. So I will go to new, then I will go to install software, and here I will click on already installed question mark. The TestNG version is 5.9.0.2, and what is the URL I have used for this is, let me check it. So here is the okay, this is not having URL, but before that I will uninstall, okay, then I will use some other version, then it should work. Yes, it's getting uninstalled first. Earlier I had used this URL, hence it was giving version as 5.9, and that was not compatible with my Eclipse. The as a result or as a resolution, what I can do, I will use the another URL what I have here showing. I think it should resolve the issue. Let's see. Here I'll try to add TestNG URL. So here is the URL, then let me click on OK. So the version what it is giving is 6.9. Earlier it was 5 dot something. So let me check and install. After installing proper TestNG add-on to the Eclipse, now there are no errors. The errors have gone. So this is a simple solution if you get error as I shown before when you use priority keyword in the at the rate test annotation. Now let me run. As per my statement, first method has to be executed is this, that is update status. Then it has to execute share post because here I have assigned priority for each and every method. So let me say run as and click on TestNG test. So here are the results. Total tests run only one because it starts from 0. Then it will show the messages here, like login to Facebook is the message it will get executed first because it has at the rate before test annotation. Then it will say share your post again. I'm sorry, there is something wrong. I think I have executed a wrong class or program. Let me execute again. Run as TestNG. Yes, this time it is showing total tests run are 2 because there are 2 tests. And if you look at the messages, first it will display login to Facebook, then it will display new Selenium online session, that message as a second one. Then third method will get executed, that is share post, and last one would be the logout message because here I have prioritized the methods. Like this you can use at the rate test as well as at the rate before test, after test with priority keywords. So we have observed and we have learned three annotations and one keyword called priority. There are some scenarios where one scenario will be dependent on other scenario. For example, here we have a method called test update status. In order to execute share post, think that this share post will happen only after updating status. If there is no update status, there won't be share post. In the sense, if the test update status is not passed, then there is no use of executing share post because there is no post at all. How can you execute the next test? If there are tests dependent on previous test, then we can make some changes here. So this test has to be dependent on the test called update status. If update status passed, then execute the share post. If update status failed, then don't execute the share post. Like this we can implement logic by using some of the keywords. So the keywords are here depends on method. This is a one keyword. This will instruct to JVM that if the method update status is passed, then only execute the share post. Here I have given depends on method equals to update status. So let me execute this piece of code and it works fine without any issues. Now what I will do, I will introduce some exception here and I will make update status method fail purposefully. So here I have used one exception called throw new runtime exception. So this will throw exception when update status gets executed. So if there is a failures or any errors in the update status, the method share post should not execute because it is completely depend upon update status. So let me execute this here. I think again I executed wrongly, so I'll say run as TestNG test. So here total tests runs are 2. One is failure, that is update status is failure because of some exception, and skips is 1, that is a share post is skipped. How do you say that share post is skipped? If you look at the messages, first I will get login to Facebook as usual, then I will get the message as new Selenium online session. Here is the message, and directly I'm getting message called logout from Facebook. So there is no message called share your post, but here it will say what methods have got executed and what methods have got skipped. So the first method executed, but it's a failed. Because of this failure, the method share post got skipped. Here we can use these kind of dependents or logics in order to make one method depend upon another method to make complete end-to-end test flow execution. I would like to automate another scenario, that is click on photo. There is a button called click in like in Facebook. So I want to automate that. For that I have created one more method called like photo, and inside that I am saying a message clicked on like button. So what logic I would like to make here is, if update status gets executed, then share post has to be executed, because here I am using depends on method. If share post executes successfully, then like post or like photo has to be executed. So this is a flow I can use as usual by using depends on method. But here what I want to do, I don't want to skip like photo if the share photo is not executed. In the sense, irrespective of the method share post executes or not, my like photo must be executed. In that case, what I can do, I can use some of the keywords where I can instruct JVM that whether above or dependent method executes or scripts, but the method called like post has to be executed. How to do it? Let's see. Here again I have used @test, and I have used keyword called depends on method. Which method I have to dependent on? I want to dependent on share post. Here I have used one more keyword called always run equals to true. It says that whether share post executed or skipped, but clicked on like button will get displayed, because like post method will get executed. So now, as per our scenario, when you start executing, update status method will get executed, and it will fail because of exception. And since I have used depends on method status update status, so the share post will not get executed. This will skip because of the error in the above method. But here again I have made my like photo depend on share post, but here I have used always run, hence it will get executed irrespective of errors or not errors. Let me execute this program or test, and here is the result. Total tests run are 3, because there are 3 tests. One failure, yes, this is failed, and skipped one, that is share post has got skipped. But if you look at the messages, first message login to Facebook, second message new Selenium online, third message here is clicked on like button. So irrespective of share post executed or skipped, the method like photo got executed. So here you can see passed like photo, that is passed easily, and update status is failed, and share post has got skipped. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, queries, or if you need any help regarding Selenium, WebDriver, and Core Java, you can always contact us using mail, or you can directly call us using USA and India numbers. Thanks. We'll meet again in next session.